Hey everybody, this is Scott again with Tink's Magical Vacations, here with another Tink's tutorial. Today we're going to be looking at how to check in online for your upcoming Disney Cruise Line vacation. So the first place you need to go is just to the Disney Cruise Line website at disneycruise.com. And then if you look up at the top right here where it says My Cruise, this is kind of your main navigation site for your specific cruise once you have booked it through your Tink's vacation planner and properly linked it to the Disney Cruise Line website with your reservation number. What you can do, you can either go to My Reservations or you can go to My Online Check-In. They'll both take you to the exact same place. But if we're trying to check in online, let's go ahead and click My Online Check-In. And it will pull up any and all reservations that you currently have with Disney Cruise Line. And so what we'll do is I actually have a couple of different cruises booked, but I'll just look at the top one that I've already checked in for, but it will at least give you an idea of how to check in online and the steps to follow. But we will go right here to Online Check-In, and you'll either do Start or, in this case I'm saying Update, but usually you'll say Start. So you will click that to get your online check-in started. And remember that you can check in online depending on your Castaway Club status. If you're a first-time cruiser, you can check in 75 days in advance of your cruise. If you are a Silver Castaway Club member, you can check in 90 days in advance. If you're a Gold Castaway Club member, you can check in 105 days. Or if you're a Platinum or Concierge guest, you can check in 120 days. So it will always give you, if it's not your time to check in yet, it will tell you when your check-in day is, and you can check in at midnight of that time, at 12:01 of the time of the day that you are allowed to check in. So what I will do now, if you notice, is My Online Check-In, and you'll see these different tabs that we have to go through basically to complete your online check-in. The first tab you have to go to is Guest Information. So if you click on that, you will see all the guests in your party that are on the reservation listed. And I will go here to Edit Guest Information 1. And this is a place where you'll put your country, your address, your city, your state, your zip, and then also an emergency contact, their phone number, and their relationship while you're on the boat. The cool thing about this tab is that you can click if you want for all of this information to be the same for everybody in your party. So if you're traveling within the same household, this is very convenient. You don't have to worry about entering that information 2, 3, 4, 5 times depending on how many people you have in your family. So here I will click, I want that to indicate it says, please indicate which guests share the same address and emergency contact information as you. And I will click All Guests, and that is my wife and my son. And then it says, will anyone in your party be pregnant 24 or more weeks? So that is a place where you'll click yes or no. Once you select it right here, if you want to indicate that for the other guest, click Save. And I know it may be blurred out, that way you don't see some of the information. And it will apply it to everyone in my reservation, so I don't have to worry about going to guest 2 and guest 3. I can just click Continue. Then it will take me to our second tab, which is Identification. And this is where you actually will have to go in under each person and update and make sure their information is correct. So for myself, I've already said that my citizenship was United States. You can choose between either a passport, if you have a passport card or a passport book, or you can select photo and government ID. If you do have a passport card or passport book, you can go ahead and enter your passport number, the expiration date, and the country issued, and go ahead and have that on file with Disney, which will speed up your check-in once at the port. So what you'll have to do here is you have to click through each guest, update or add their information, and then once everybody is entered, then you can go down once again to Continue. Next, we will go to Pre and Post Cruise. This is another tab that you can just enter for one person and apply it to everybody. So what I'm going to do here is look at myself, and it will say, first of all, pre-cruise information. Are you flying in for your cruise? If you are, it will ask you for your various flight information, airline, departure city, departure time, arrival time. This is basically for customs. If you're not, just click No, and then it will ask it will ask for your post-cruise information. Where are you going after your cruise? The choices are a Disney resort hotel, other hotel or address, airport, or I guess doing another Disney cruise if you're doing a back-to-back. But if you're going straight home, you will just need to select other hotel or address, and you can click where it says use home address, and that will help take care, and you don't have to worry about typing your information there about your address. Then it will say how will you be leaving the terminal, Disney transfers, a car parked at the ship terminal, private transfers, or a rental car or shuttle. So you'll click which one of those will apply to your departing the terminal. Here's where you can select where it says apply pre and post cruise information to, and you can select all guests if everyone is going to follow that same pattern of getting home and getting to the port. Click save, and then we will go to our next tab, which is onboard account, which that is where you will put down a card for charging purposes on the cruise. Remember that on the cruise and at Castaway Cay, that is a cashless ship or cashless experience, to where everything you want to buy on the ship you will put on your Key to the World card, and then you can settle your account either with cash or a gift card or a credit card at guest services. But you will not be able to use cash, for example, at a souvenir shop or at the bar. You always have to put stuff on your Key to the World card. So Disney does want you to have a card on file there, just for the sake of having a backup when you accumulate charges on board, as well as your gratuities and etc. So when I click on onboard account, you can say you want to settle with cash, but just remember you will have to follow up with that on board. But it's nice to go ahead and have a credit or debit card on file. So I'll go ahead and put my credit or debit card information in right here. And then as I look down, it's asking who I will cover on the payment. And I have a few different staterooms connected with me. So you'll see there's these two staterooms right here. And I will say I will pay for my wife and my son. And this also tells who you are granting charging privileges to. So I only want to grant charging privileges to my wife and not our 8-year-old son. So that is where you can select who exactly will have charging privileges. Then as you scroll down, you will see information about the Wave phones that Disney provides in your staterooms, and then you are assuming full responsibility for the amounts due in connection with your cruise. And that's where it will basically say after a certain amount, depending on the cruise, your cards will automatically be charged, just so you don't rack up a $1,500 account balance and nothing's been charged yet. So that's where you will select the check mark to say that you do acknowledge that and assume full responsibility. Since I have already indicated right here who I am paying for and who's got charging privileges, once I click save, I don't have to worry about putting in any information for the other guests in my room, because I've already designated how they will be paid for and if they do have charging privileges. The next tab you will see is port arrival time. And this will look possibly a little different on your screen, but if you are a first-time cruiser, silver or gold Castaway Club member, there will actually be a set period of time that they ask you to arrive at the port. This is more or less a guideline. If you arrived a few minutes before your assigned time, you'll be okay, but they do this to try to stagger the crowd coming into the terminal and through security. If you're a concierge or platinum, however, it will say that you're not required to select a port arrival time, and that you can just show up to the terminal whenever you would like during embarkation. So that is where you will select your time for port arrival time. I will click continue, and there are 2 more steps left and you are done. So next you have your contract for Disney Cruise Line. And I would advise you to read through that just for the standpoint of reading all the fine print, and talks about the various ages of things and if injuries were to happen. Very, very good information just to know and to have. And so once you have read through that, click yes, I agree to the terms and conditions, and click continue. And the last tab that you will see is signature form. From there you will go on to print signature form. That is where you will need to print that off and sign in all the required signature spaces. and you will need to bring that, your documentation, whether it be a passport card, a passport book, or birth certificate, as well as anyone 18 or over will need their driver's license or other form of identification. And just as a reminder, Tink's Magical Vacations always recommends that you have your passport book. That way, in case something were to happen overseas, that will not hinder you in getting back to the country you reside in should an emergency arise. So you will need those forms of identification when checking in, and then once you have printed that, sign it, usually I put it just in the front cover of the booklet that I received before we cruise, and that way it's all in there together and I know where it's at. Once you have signed that, you can click complete my online check-in, and Captain Mickey will pop up showing you that you have completed your online check-in, and it will take you back to your My Cruise Reservations home screen. So hopefully this helps you kind of get started on checking in online. Keep in mind, from this site you may also book shore excursions, and it will show you, if you are not within your window yet, what your date is to start booking those. And remember, that can also be at midnight of the day it says. Also, we've already addressed online check-in. This is where you can also register your children for the children's programs and activities. Any special requests that you need to add, if your Tink's agent has not already done that for you. And then if you would like to request a free character call to kind of surprise your kids and let them know you're going on a Disney cruise, this is also where you can go to set that up. So once again, this is Scott. I hope this has helped you get an idea of how to check in online for your upcoming Disney Cruise Line vacation. As always, if you have any questions or need anything, please contact your Tink's Vacation Planner, and we'll be more than happy to help you through this step or any other questions you might have. So thanks so much, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Bye now.